end this overlay and get to the battle at hand. Let's spice things up and start with our red player first today, or this round. And this is going to be an interesting army. We got Crusader bringing 2 Blackguards of Nagaron, 2 Sisters of Slaughter. He is then going to have 2 units of Bleak Swords, as well as 2 units of Dread Spears. And did I already say the 2 Blackguard of Nagaron? I think I did. So, a lot of infantry here. Aside from that, he's going to have 1 unit of artillery being a Reaper Bolt Thrower. He is then going to have what appears to be 2 units of Harpies, and both of them going to be deployed in the back, just looking out for any Vanguard shenanigans from his opponent. I like it. Aside from this, we're going to have 2 Manticores up in the air, a Feral Manticores for the win. I am in love with you, Crusader. Oh my god, this army is so interesting. He is going to have over here a Sorceress of Beast. The Sorceress of Beast will have nothing but Transformation of Kadan, as well as the Dark Star Cloak. So she'll be doing some mean stuff. And then we got Marathi on foot here, a very popular Lord choice. And she's going to have Soul Stealer, along with Power of Darkness, Heartrender of the Dark Sword, with Greater Arcane Conduit, Spiteful Conjuration, as well as a Life Leeching. Now, for his opponent's army, we have Archon the Black, who's going to be bringing the Vampire Coast. The Vampire Coast will have Queen Bess, as well as 5 units of Deckhand Mob, with 2 units of Moringulls. Aside from these Moringulls, we're going to have a Depth Guard. We're then going to have 5 units of, or no, what is that? Yeah, 5 units of, what is this? 3 units of Deck Droppers and 2 units of Fellbats. And then we're also going to have Luther Harkin up in the air with Hornswaggle and his lovely breath, but nothing else. And oh my god, Crusader, what are you doing, bud? No, Crusader! Ah! Oh wow, look at that, completely dodged it. I like it. And over here, Deck Droppers are going to start getting shot by the Reaper Bolt Thrower. We got the 2 Manticores up in the air that are both going to be feral. And we're going to see a 3rd Manticore getting summoned here. And I am very curious to see what happens. Luther Harkin going to be like, alright, okay, that's 1 too many Manticores for me. I'm going to get out of here. Archon the Black, Crusader doing an incredible job dodging the fire from the Queen Bess. And he's just going to give up on the Reaper Bolt Thrower, and I can't blame him. I think he's calculating what he has on the field versus what the Vampire Coast has on the field. And he's deciding this Reaper Bolt Thrower isn't worth protecting when the Queen Bess is up ahead, just shooting artillery at my very, very elite infantry. Over here, that's going to just miss too, so the Queen Bess getting some initial success, but then losing a lot of models after that. Right now, Harpy's trying to pull away, but turning around just in the nick of time to charge these Fellbats, and Harpy should outclass Fellbats very significantly, but does have support here from the Deck Droppers. And Crusader, I think, doing this very smart. He's going to go ahead and summon up both of his Manticores already. I was expecting this last one to wait a little bit, but suppose not. This Feral Manticore chasing after the Deck Droppers. Luther Harkin chasing after that Manticore. And that Manticore, as soon as it gets rampaged, is probably going to die. But yeah, I'd like to see this Air Force pushing up a lot quicker. Both of these summoned units in the air, I hope weren't done prematurely. Sisters of Slaughter are going to dive in here to the Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob. And I have to give so much respect here to Archon the Black for bringing the Queen Bess. And look at that. Queen Bess just murking so many Sisters of Slaughter. But the Manticores are coming in now. This one over here is in single combat with Luther Harkin. And I have to say, I'm worried about the chances here for the Dark Elves if they can't take care of Queen Bess. Because look at that, 1 round. Taking those guys down by 1/3 of their health. Moringulls are diving into the infantry now. We're going to see the summons coming in. Got the Vampire Count, a Fleet Captain down here with Invocation of Heck, and as well as Hornswaggle too. Oh man. Oh no! Oh my god! The Queen Bess, people. The Queen Bess. Nobody would have expected that. But Queen Bess is doing so much work right now. Like, single-handedly killing off these Blackguard and Nagaron is Queen Bess. And a Soul Stealer coming down here to a huge Soul Stealer. Will it be enough to change the tide of battle Queen Bess going to just miss that. I'm sure the Dark Elves are breathing a huge sigh of relief. And a big breath coming down from Luther Harkin. I think the one thing they have going for him is Morathi on foot, but Morathi is losing a lot of health right now. And Luther Harkin is now going to dive in for combat. And look at that huge hit. Luther Harkin doing so much work. Morathi is going to Terror Route. And Arc on the Black just doing some very, wow, very well played. You know, you can't take it from him. He played that very, very well. Luther Harkin just dominated Morathi. And Arc on the Black going to go up 1-0. And he had the Queen Bess in that army, chat. So no matter who you're rooting for, who you're cheering for, that deserves some respect. Queen Bess on the field. But I'm curious to see, you know, how Crusader comes back from this one. You know, that's definitely not a fun battle to start your series out on, your best of 3. As you can see, the Blackguard and Nagarond, 1 kill, 0 kills. That's such a tough thing to look at. And Queen Bess, 83 kills. Like, Queen Bess just MVP that round single-handedly. Like, she... Oh, excuse me. Oh. Without the Queen Bess, they wouldn't have won. Simple as that. Queen Bess was really such an important unit, got the most kills on the field, and it wasn't against Trumps. He wasn't up against the White Line God of Gabos. You can play. He wasn't corner camping, guys. There was plenty of room between him and the White Line. He was just holding high ground in a corner. And he, like, that was just good positioning. He kept the Queen Bess in a position where the artillery for the Dark Elves couldn't reach it. No, I mean, I think he played that well. Honestly, I think in hindsight, I would have saved the Manticore summons and would have played the Reaper Bolt Thrower a bit more patiently and brought it up in range to start sniping down the Queen Bess, because only a few rounds I think would have worked. Oh, damn it. I am so sorry. I think Romulan Dog should be ready soon, right? No, he's still not in my Discord. Never mind. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's start off with blue. My apologies. So, right now, we got Arc on the Black and his vampire counts. Now, the vampire count started with the infantry will have what appears to be 3 skeleton warriors and 2 skeleton spearmen, along with 4 crypt ghouls. I love the choice of these crypt ghouls. He's going to have 2 blood knights. He's going to have 2 fell bats up in the air, 2 crypt horrors down on the ground, and a corpse cart with an unholy lodestone to get that lovely area of effect healing down. Now, for the leadership of this vampire count army, we will see a necromancer. This necromancer will have the Rod of Corrupt, or Forbidden Rod, as well as Raise Dead and Master of Dead for that extra healing. We are then going to have a Strigoi Vampire Lord on foot. I love him, keeping with the theme of these ghouls that is leading into battle. Now, the Strigoi Vampire Lord will have Claws of Morkane for that extra 40% armor piercing damage, the Power Stone, Command of the Unliving to summon those crypt ghouls, and Invocation of Nehek, the Spirit Leech, and the Curse of Undeath. Now, on to the Vampire Coast. We are going to see both players readying up very quickly. 3 Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs with polearms, 2 Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs. He is then going to have 2 fell bats up in the air. He's going to have a Gallows Giant, which I love. He's going to have a Vampire Fleet Captain with vampires. He's going to have a Damned Paladin and make that 2 Damned Paladins along with a Rotting Leviathan. And that's going to be the army with 1 unit of Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob over here in the forest. Looks like perhaps they got misplaced or he's putting them out there just to keep them in a cheeky position. So here comes the fight. And these zombies are going to get absolutely melted by the crypt ghouls. And I have to say, I'm really worried about Crusader's army right now. However, Gallows Giant is going to have a field day. I am sure of it. Look at that. Half health, 1 shot. Gallows Giant. If there's one faction you may want to try him out against, it's the Vampire Coast. I mean, counts, eh? And look at that. 2 volleys from that thing, and these guys are next to dead. And if he shoots into that blob, no, fire here, fire here, fire here, fire here, fire here. Oh, man, I really want him to fire here, fire here, fire here, fire here, dude. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. No. He's gonna instead be, oh, man. I really wanted to see that. Alright, here come the Crypt Horrors coming in. Looks like the Blood Knights are coming in too. We got deck droppers over here. And, oh, that Necrofex shot is going to completely miss. And right now, the two Damn Paladins, as well as the Vampire Fleet Captain, and the Necrofex are all going to get an Overcast Invocation to heck. We're going to see all of the deck droppers and Fellbats, which I missed a couple of Fellbats too, are all going to come in here and be shooting down the Corpse Guard, the Unholy Lodestone, and they're doing really well. But look at this, Blood Knights coming in. And oh no, once the Blood Knights get on top of the Necrofex Colossus, it is going to be dead so quickly. It actually even looks like the Blood Knights were going for a rear charge there, but here it comes. They're turning around. Vampire counts are turning this entire force around. But look at that. We're going to see the Corpse Cart dying off, and then we're going to see the Damn Paladins and Vampire Fleet Captain over here dealing with the Crypt Horrors. The Necrofex, the Gallows Giant, able to pull out of there, and I really want to see him just punish a blob with a flamethrower shot. All of the deck droppers in the air, all two of them, or I guess 3 deck droppers and 2 Fellbats, are shooting down into the Corpse Guard, the Unholy Lodestone. It should be dead very quickly. And now we're just waiting to see the Necrofex Colossus shoot into a blob here, but he's going to be walking around flamethrowing the ground for now, and it's just going to be a big old blob fight, guys. Right now, it does look like Vampire Coast is starting to get a slight edge. Now, they need to kill this Necromancer. The Necromancer is the healer in this army, and if you can get that Necromancer taken care of, it'd be a huge win. Right now, the Vampire Fleet Captain with pole arms is doing pretty well, taking care of the Crypt Horrors with his Damn Paladins, and now that they're off the map, it looks like he's going to be going into combat with the Strigoi Vampire Lord. And the Necrofex Colossus is still doing quite well. The Rotting Promethean doesn't even, Leviathan looking like it isn't even been touched. Blood Knights, great bonus versus large, but very little armor piercing. So right now, we'll see what happens. As long as the Necrofex Colossus is alive, I think he can take care of the infantry. And as long as the Rotting Leviathan is alive, I think he'll have something to keep the Blood Knights busy. Alright, there they go. And these 3 deck droppers are doing really, really well. Actually, is it 4? Man, I keep on miscounting. It's 4 deck droppers. And as so many undead battles go, it's turning into a blob fest. Got Strigoi Vampire Lord duking it out here with the Damned Paladins and the Vampire Fleet Captain. And I have to say, the Damned Paladins, I like this pick. It's interesting. Okay, Vampire Fleet Captain Vampires is getting hit by all the Blood Knights now. Strigoi Vampire Lord coming in. She's reached her healing cap. Some of the Blood Knights are dead. The other ones are looking really low on health, and the supporting fire coming in is really making the difference here. Strigoi Vampire Lord getting caught out here between the 2 Damn Paladins, but the Blood Knights are making a huge difference helping support him. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of these blob fights either, but it's coming close. But I do think the Vampire Coast is going to come out on top in the end. And we should be seeing a best of 3. And the good news is, chat, neither player can bring Vampire Coast. And one of them can't even bring the Vampire Counts anymore. Oh! Strigoi Vampire Lord getting shot point blank by the Necrofex Colossus, doing all of the work. And, oh my goodness gracious. I love you. Gallows Giant. Like, Crusader wins just because it brings the Gallows Giant. It's the best thing ever. The Gallows Giant MVP. And, just watching it burninate all of these skeletons. It's like he's just going around, just, alright, let's get rid of the pest. And there goes Strigoi Vampire Lord. And that, just like that, guys, we're going to be going to a best of 3. There's no way Vampire counts get out of this one. And we'll see a concede there from Mark on the Black. So now look at that, guys. Ace match once again. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those today. Here is me thinking it's too early for some barbecue. Ooh, Gallows Giant. So fun to watch, guys. That was a really good game. That was fun. Gallows Giant, 162 kills on the Raw Leviathan. Damn Paladins, bonus versus large, they were there for the win. These guys are awesome. Vampire Fleet Captain did a good job. Like, this army all together just worked really, really well. For Crusader, the Damned Knights, excellent pick. And then looking over here, I think Archon played that pretty well, getting the surround there, but it was really the Gallows Giant, not to keep on just, you know, harping on the Gallows Giant, but that is what prevented this build from working. Without the Gallows Giant, this army would have done really well, I think. But the fact that he was able to literally destroy a unit of cripples before it even got there was a huge deal. And I think there were some missed opportunities too with the Gallows Giant. I mean, that's just my opinion, but obviously Crusader is so much better than me. But, you know, 166 kills, MVP of the match right there. Popular lately. I had a Norska player win the tournament last time around. But in any case, let's get to the battle at hand, chat. So here we go. Enough speculation. Let's see who comes out on top between the one and only Crusader and the one and only Archon the Black. Now, with our red player Crusader, we're going to see 5 Peasant Mob up front. He's going to have 5 units of Peasant Bowmen as well. I think that's a very strong pick with the Peasant Bowmen. On top of that, he's going to have 4 units of Mounted Yeoman Archers. And then he's going to have a strong cav force consisting of the Companions of Corel and 2 units of Grail Knights. Along with those Grail Knights, he will have a Damsel of Heavens. He's not going to be bringing the healing. Damsel of Heavens will be on a horse, bringing the Power Stone, Scroll of Shielding, Wind Blast, as well as Harmonic Convergence and Roiling Skies for that debuffed air units. Now, for his final leader, we will have King Luin Leon Kerr up in the air. Beaky will, and on top of him, he will have the Sword of Corone, Stand Your Ground, Foe Seeker, Beloved Son of Bretonia, the Ladies Champion, and the Blessing of the Lady. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the blue player, Archon the Black, and his Dark Elf forces. With his Dark Elves, we are going to see 1 Reaper Bolt Thrower. He is then going to have what appears to be 4 units of Bleak Swords and 2 units of Dread Spears, along with 1 Hargoneth Executioner. He will have a Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow, as well as 4 Cold One Knights. Now, for his leadership up in the air, we will see Malekith. Malekith will have Gaze of Malice, Soul Stealer, Chill Wind, as well as Stand Your Ground with his Breath and Spiteful Conjuration. And that will round out the 2 armies. And just like that, we're going to get into it, and we're going to see who comes out on top. Silver Shields should be able to negate a ton of damage from these archers coming from Bretonia, but there are 5 archers, so we'll see. I think the range is going to go in favor of Bretonia here, since they clearly outclass the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows with 4 Mounted Yeomen, but the artillery here is going to, help pull the Bretonians to the Dark Elves. And then with the, nice little damage he does over time with those Chill Winds, should get some good use out of him. I like this placement of the Reaper Bolt Throwers too. I think they're placed in a good place to prevent artillery like a Trebuchet from getting on top of them. But right now, I would like to see Crusader play this a bit more cautiously. Don't let the Reaper Bolt Thrower just get a bunch of free damage on top of your missile cav, although I guess he's looking at that probably pretty intelligently and patiently, deciding like, well, if he's shooting my Mounted Yeoman, that's 500 points. I don't really care. Just don't shoot my Grail Knights or my Companions of Corel. And now in come the Peasant Bowmen. The Peasant Bowman coming into range is going to force Archon the Black's hands. And just like that, you're going to see Archon going like, yeah, I'm going to need to get in here for the fight. Looks like Luin diving in for some terror just to help rout that center unit. And then I just heard a wind blast, but I didn't see where it went. Nope, I certainly didn't. Malekith is diving in, trying to get on top of Lewin, but Lewin is going to pull out. And all of the bows are going to target on top of Malekith now. And Malekith isn't going to be happy about that. Going to take quite a lot of damage. And is that Lewin coming in for a rear charge now on top of Malekith? And Malekith is taking a lot of free damage. But look at this. All of the Cold One Knights are diving in, and there's no heals. So Lewin's going to have to pull out. Looks like he's going to do it just in the nick of time to get away from those Cold One Knights. But look at that. He got staggered. And now Lewin is going to be in trouble if he doesn't get out of there. But look at that. Gaze of Malice being perfectly cast on top of those Peasant Bowmen. Bretonnian Knights desperately trying to get in here and help Lewin. It looks like they'll just be able to come through the gaps. But look at this. Archon the Black doing an expert move here, getting on top of the Damsel of Heavens. Damsel of Heavens can be so important, and she may not come back from routing. She may go right off the map. And if that happens, then we're going to see the magic for Bretonnia taken out within the first 3 minutes of the battle, and boom, there they go. But in return, King Lewin Leoncoeur diving in, trying to get on top of Malekith. Malekith going to be pulling out of here, and now the Reaper Bolt are going to keep on firing in and doing its damage. Oh my goodness gracious. Over here, the Companions of Corel are taking so much damage. They're in Lance formation, but they're surrounded by a lot of chaff, and the Cold One Knights are just going to have their way with them over enough time. But Lewin Leoncoeur needs to figure out what he's doing right now. Looks like he's turning around to help dive into these Grell Knights with their combat. But he really needs to be careful. At this stage in the battle, I'm really concerned with, you know, the Dark Elves. Well, concerned with the Bretonnians' position right here. Hargoneth Executioners are still completely healthy. Terror's going to kick on these Cold One Knights, so they need to pull out of here quick before the Hargoneth Executioners get involved. Malekith continuing to be targeted by all of these mounted yeoman archers. Lewin coming up to try to help him out. But right now, balance of power is in favor of Archon the Black and his Bretonnians. I mean, and his Dark Elves. While Crusader is playing catch-up. And guess what? The Reaper Bolt Thrower is still firing this entire battle. Nothing has challenged it. And, you know, I don't know. I think Lewin has to go deal with these Cold One Knights, try to regather his missile troops, because until he regathers missile troops, he won't be able to do jack. Malekith is trying to run away. He has Soul Stealer, so I think he's saving it for a really rainy day. We're going to see Lewin diving into these Cold One Knights, and then the Companions of Corel and the Grell Knights are probably going to turn around for a counter charge of their own. And these guys, I imagine, will go down rather quickly. But Reaper Bolt Thrower, Repeater Crossbow is doing quite a lot of damage there. We're going to see Lewin popping Standard Ground and Foe Seeker. Dread Spears coming in to support Malekith, though. Soul Stealer coming down here. And then I think we're also going to see the Sword of Corone going down on top of Malekith. But with the Soul Stealer, who's... Oh my goodness, the Soul Stealer is healing up Malekith so much. But now we have all these Knights diving into combat. Lewin Leoncoeur, oh my goodness gracious, this is so close. If he can kill Malekith right now, he can bring this back. If he doesn't kill Malekith right now, I think the game may be over. Oh my goodness, look at it. Malekith is so low, and oh, King Lewin Leoncoeur with the beautiful maneuvering going around those Repeater Crossbows, and oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Malekith is desperately trying to get away from Lewin Leoncoeur. If he pops a Foe Seeker, will he be able to catch him? But on the field right now, the Dark Elves are still in a very commanding position. Most of the Bretonnian forces are routing at the moment. Repeater Crossbows and the Reaper Bolt Thrower are both going to be firing at Lewin. Will he be able to kill these guys off? Back here, the Bretonnians are technically attacking. They have their archers firing at people. You got these mounted yeomen coming over to help out. I would love to see him peel one of these units off and shut down this damn artillery piece before it single-handedly loses in the battle. But look at this. Lewin is going to keep on getting shot by the Reaper Bolt Throwers and the Repeater Crossbows. But the Mounted Yeomen looking like they're trying to get on top of these guys and are going to keep them out of here. Now, there goes Foe Seeker. Will Lewin be able to get a shot off? Or is he just going to continue? Oh! That one actually hit Malekith. Oh my god, Malekith is down pretty low on health. And look at that. A big hit. 319 is his health. He's going to start routing. And oh my god, Will... Look at that! Malekith is dead as a doornail on the ground, and Lewin has just given himself a fighting chance. And look at this. With the Mounted Yeoman, He's going to start coming over here. He can shut down this artillery even though it's basically out of ammunition. What kind of kills are we looking at here? 23. Did so much work. And, oh my, I think we're going to see a comeback because look at this. Lewin is going to be regenerating, and he has quite a lot of health to regenerate. So mounted yeomen are going to shut down this Reaper bolt thrower. The archers are back online. I don't think there's enough anti-large on the field. We have one unit of Cold One Knights that is still looking healthy, and the Harganeth Executioners will be a tough nut to crack, but with cycle, with a surround charge from the mounted yeoman, and then the dive in from Lewin with Sword of Corone, I'm sure he can take care of these guys pretty easily. So right now, mobility and leadership in favor of the Bretonnians, but numbers in favor of the Dark Elves. And not insignificant numbers too. Because we got here the Harganeth Executioners down on the ground. It looks like both players are repositioning, so I'm going to allow it. You can see that they're not like draw-guiding each other. Lewin's coming out here to target these guys who are still not quite in position. Try and take them out so they can't regroup. And look at that. He succeeded. A shatter after one charge. Dark Elves are regrouping together. I have to respect that decision. You need to keep everybody as close as possible so you don't just get charged down to death. But, yeah, right now, look at this. The Cold One Knight's getting targeted. Looks like Lewin Leoncoeur deciding, you know what, fuck it. These guys are the most threatening unit on the field for me right now. Let's kill them before they get with the infantry. Because as soon as they get with the infantry, they're going to be a much more potent force to deal with. And right now, mounted yeomen diving into bleak swords. And what a fight, guys. We are now closing in on the halfway mark in this fight, coming up on 10 minutes. And both players regrouping, and I think Bretonnians are going to be able to pull this off in spite of what looked like very, very dire circumstances. Lewin going to take off right now, and we'll see if he comes around to try and take out these Cold One Knights once and for all. Whatever he does, he'll want to do it as far away from as possible from these Harganeth Executioners because their armor piercing will be absolutely devastating. And just like that, guys, an incredibly close battle, but I don't see how the Dark Elves are going to do this with Lewin on the field, because as the battle wears on, the Bretonnians are getting stronger and the Dark Elves are getting weaker. They have no more leadership left, and Lewin is continuing to recharge his health. He's back up to 237 right now, and I don't know, balance power is still in favor of the Dark Elves though.
Incoming enemy fire!
So here come the peasant bowmen are now in range. They're going to start firing into these guys. Oh boy.
The battle is lost!
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to pull this off. Because like Lewin could dive into these guys right now and not even have to worry about it, like honestly. And it looks like he's getting ready to do just that. Alright, yep, there's the rear charge from Lewin. And now a rear charge from the mounted yeoman into the knights. Terror's going to kick in. And Terror's going to kick in on these guys too in a second. There it goes. And now we have the Harganeth Executioners who are the only ones left. They're getting a rear charge on top of them. We have Lewin on top of... oh man. What a fucking game, guys. Arc on the Black. Very, very well played series to him. That first battle was a rather convincing victory with his Vampire Coast, but I think Crusaders got this in the bag, and I really thought he had lost that. So well played to him, especially. Like, I did not expect that comeback, and yet here he is. Never doubt Lewin Leoncoeur. He's going to kill off the rest of these Cold Ones as the corpse of Malekith just lays there awkwardly. Lewin Leoncoeur. They're over here killing the Dread Spears, and now it's just time to kill off the Harganeth Executioners, and GG, well played both. I guess I should wait to do that so it's not like rude. All right. Let's do it. Here we go. Lewin dives in with the charge. He's going to pop Sword of Corone, or does he not have that recharged yet, possibly? Lewin and the Mounted Yeoman dive into said Hargonath Executioners. Sword of Corone goes down, and now we see who wins. And there goes the route. Hargonath Executioners going to turn around, and Crusader going to win that in a very close 2-1 series. Yeah, even the yeah, Bretonia's dope, Black Phillip. Hard garbage executioners. Yeah. Yeah, very good game to both players there. Crusader, really good comeback there. I thought he had lost. I mean, he lost that Damsel of Heavens early on. King Lewin used expertly. And then he had some pretty bad engagements with some of his cavalry there. Mounted Yeoman archers getting far more kills than most of the cavalry. Hargonath Executioners getting a ton. Malekith being used expertly there. Malekith doing really good work. And, yeah, great game to both players, like, honestly. That was a very fun matchup.